We really boxing. Who wanted the baddest? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Definitely. Oh man, eat shit, bro. I eat you. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Cause I ain't supposed to, nigga. Never been. Not on my blood. Never been, bro. Yo, you been fed from a silver spoon your whole life. I know that shit. Yo, sign the fucking contract. Nobody, bro.
What was that conversation like for you moments ago?
How does it feel that you gotta? The only way you're relevant is through me.
Relevant through you? What are you talking about?
That's the only way.
I was relevant before
you. Hold that WBC belt.
What are you talking about? You're a clown, bro. You're a clown.
Shout out to BVO Boxing. You understand? Check the boy out. Check the kid out. You understand?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing, man. Mr. SDA himself, aka the Asiatic Black Man, sent by God himself. I got my man in the house, man. Puerto Rican Free, aka the Great Debater. And I definitely got my man Prize, Richie Rich, aka the Spoiled Dude. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
But let's see that watch, man. I know you got the watch.
You know, see, you trying to put me on the spot. You know that I was out and about. You called me 2 times behind the scenes, and you know good and well that I was doing something.
Hey, now that's now,
I come straight from doing what I'm doing. Actually, I stopped from doing what I'm doing to come, rock out.
Hey, but we got my man being in there. He's supposed to be coming in here. We're gonna just talk some boxing today. It's been so dead in boxing. I mean, I could sit here and talk about Tank all day, but we all know, man. We all know he's scared of T.O. That's why I played that video just to show everybody how T.O. got everybody scared. I know y'all seen that Mason Cam interview, and it just really was like an eye opener. The fact that those guys are so afraid of him, man. It's wild. Let me ask you this. Do you guys think we'll ever see Tank in a real fight, like in a real 50-50 fight, or is that just a pipe dream at this point? My man Ace.
Probably won't. He's so much better than everybody else to me. I mean, he's damned if he do, damned if he don't. Go ahead, Free.
I was gonna say no because I don't think none of those guys is 50-50 with him.
Right.
Man, you say that, Free, but do you really believe that? You really believe nobody 50-50 with him? Nobody?
No. Who do you got in mind, BVO?
Nobody at 140 and nobody at 35. None of them are 50-50. Not from what at first I was thinking Shakur and Devin might have been a 50-50 fight, but after what I saw from their last couple of performances, I don't think those 50-50 anymore. It's more like 60-40.
That's what I had in mind, Free. 60-40.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean,
but I ain't saying that Dev and them can't beat him. My bad, BBO.
I got T.O. probably closest at 45, 55, and probably Devin 45, 55 as well. I mean, it is what it is. Salute to my brother Ben Israel, man. Salute to you, man. If you say Tank or afraid of T.O., Tank, we don't know what Tank's afraid of. I don't even like to mention him, man, because I like to talk about fighters who show love back. But salute to Brian Norman Jr. because I'm telling you, man, a lot of people talking trash about him now. When he stopped Boots, Free, I want to see your face. You gonna stop that kid? You gonna stop him? I just gotta tell you, he gonna stop him.
Yeah, we heard that before.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Hey man, this coming from the same dude that said Ryan was going to stop Tank. It's coming from the same dude that he thought that Shakur was going to stop Frank Martin.
Wait, Shakur?
No, I had Frank Martin.
No. Oh yeah, that's right. You had Frank Martin stopping.
I thought he had
Yeah, you did. You had Frank Martin stopping Shakur.
That
was even crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, that's the truth, man.
You'd have been better off saying, I believe Frank Martin beat Shakur. That's fine. I mean, that's your opinion. I can go with that. But to say that he would stop Shakur, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a good fight. I don't think he'll stop Shakur though.
I'll just say this, man. I think Shakur, salute to my man, brother T.O. We got my guy in the house. Me in. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on with you, my brother? What's going on with you, man?
Oh, we glad to have you in the house, man. We got a voice of reason in the house now.
Yeah.
This Puerto Rican, this brother, man, they don't like to talk no real boxing, man. Especially that Puerto Rican up there. He look like a brother, but he's not. That's a Puerto Rican, man.
That's crazy.
That's a Puerto Rican right there, man.
Puerto Rican now, bro?
Yeah, that's what he is.
But
yeah. I'm gonna ask you this while we got you here, BN, man. What got you into boxing, man, early on?
Oh man, my father, man. My father wanted one of his sons. Out of the 7 of us, he wanted one of us to become a boxer, man. And unfortunately, man, none of us became a boxer, man. But he kept on trying to get us to go to gyms and trying to get us into boxing. The only thing that happened, 2 of us actually fell in love with the sport and continue to follow the sport till this day. Like I said, I lost my father in 21, but one thing that we did carry on, every major fight, I made sure my father was tuned in. I made sure I purchased the pay-per-view. I made sure that he was always watching it. And that's kind of, it's one of the things I'll always say to this day, what reminds me that he's no longer with me, because when it's a big old boxing match, I'll be like, damn, I can't share with my dad,
Yeah, so who was his favorite fight? Was it Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali, you know that already, man. And Sugar Ray, yeah. Sugar Ray and Muhammad Ali, yes, definitely.
Yeah, because a lot of people talk about Sugar Ray, but I always remember Roberto Duran beat the life out of him. So I always was the Duran fan. I'm with Duran. That's just me, But let me ask you this though, man. This is something controversial. Do you ever hold it against Sugar Ray Leonard for forcing that rematch with Duran when Duran wasn't in shape? He had the little 20 pounds. I think it was 30 pounds to make the
30
fight.
pounds. No. You don't hold it against him, bro. I mean, that's just what it is, bro. I mean, back then, bro, those dudes was real killers, man. Yeah, that wasn't on Sugar Ray, bro. It was really on Duran. You can't hold that against Sugar Ray on that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, now I know you know your boxing, man. So when you see this kid, down at 140, man, 2-time undisputed world champion, man, what you think about this guy? Think about that kid, T.O., man.
First of all, bro, he's not undisputed. He's not undisputed, man. He never did get that green belt, bro. He didn't get it, bro.
You didn't see that green belt around his waist?
Nah, man, he didn't get it. But Devin Haney had the green belt, bro. But I would say this, man. I was a big time T.O. supporter before all of this. That's why if you ever look at my intro, he was on there. I followed the dude. I got interviews with T.O., man. Actually, I got interviews with him and everything. I was a big time T.O. person. Once T.O. got those belts, man, T.O. changed up. He switched up. And I still don't think that he's the same guy. Do I think that T.O. is a racist and all that? Nah, I just think that, like Bud said, he's just looking for attention in the wrong way. A lot of Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, whatever the hell he is, Spanish guys, they think that they are black.
Yeah.
So they're gonna use the N word. They're gonna carry on, like we carry on.
Mm-hmm.
But he just don't realize that he's attracting the wrong type of attention, in a negative
Yeah.
manner.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So when you talk about boxing, man, it's a guy I used to follow quite a bit, man. Named Deontay Wilder. You think Deontay Wilder ever got a fair shake?
Do I think that if he had a fair shake, he did, man. I think Deontay Wilder did have a fair shake. I mean, I think every now and then you're gonna run into that one person, man, that you just can't beat, bro. And I
Yeah.
think that one person was definitely Tyson Fury. And I think that he lost a lot, got taken out of him by fighting that guy 3 times. I think that was like the biggest mistake that he ever done was fighting that guy 3 times. I think a lot was taken out of him. Although I think the first fight he could have won that one, the second and the third fight was definitely devastating, man. I think it hurt him more than it helped him. And you've seen exactly the results of that, him losing those other 2 fights after that, man. But Deontay Wilder, he was moved correctly. I mean, at one point in time in his career, bro, we all know he made the sport of boxing exciting, bro, by knocking
Yeah.
out people, giving us what we want to see.
Mm-hmm. Facts. A heavyweight.
And speaking on that, the reason I brought him up, do you think Deontay Wilder kind of showing a little bit too much love towards quote unquote people hurt him? Because we hadn't really seen a guy with activism like this at the heavyweight division like many years. You think that ever hurt him?
I think it did, man. I think that did hurt him, man. Let me tell you something when it comes to stuff like that, man. Deontay Wilder actually loved his people, bro. He's one of those fighters, one of those guys that you can reach out and touch. Nobody can reach out and touch Tank. A lot of
For
those, a
sure.
lot of those dudes, you can't reach out and touch them, bro.
Right.
Deontay Wilder, I don't know if you watched the LDBC at their last reunion, bro. He showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
showed up to
So
all of them.
Yeah.
exactly. So
We
a
seen
dude
Puerto
like
Rican
that,
Tommy
bro,
crying. Tommy from
you
the Bronx
can't.
crying.
What?
I don't care how you look at it, bro. You
Mhm.
can't help but to take your hat off to those dudes and how they support him, because he's a guy that they can call, get
Mhm.
one-on-one conversations with. They
Mhm.
can
Mm-hmm.
get. I mean, he really rock with them, dog. A
Yeah,
lot, a lot.
it's amazing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a lot of these channels, bro. We go for bad with each other, cussing each other out for dudes that don't even mess with us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
That's
even
a
get a
fact.
one-on-one with them. We can't even. They don't even. I mean, come on, bro. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, man, I think that at the end of the day, his agenda
Mhm.
for the black people, this and that, he hurt himself because at the end of the day, we are the ones that turned our backs on him and
Yeah.
and messed over him, bro. Just being
Yeah.
real. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And the reason I say that, you say reach out and touch to him. I mean, I know people talk about Tank, but most of the people that I know that have seen him, he's very unapproachable, very mean. And I'm just wondering to myself, and I'll ask you this: is that just that inflated ego? Because I heard the same thing about Terrence Crawford, a bunch of guys. But you got a guy who's bigger than all of them. You see George Foreman in the airport, he gonna stop. You know what I mean? He
Let me,
gonna
let me
stop.
I'm gonna put it to you like this here, bro.
Hmm.
The reason why the whole being boxing news thing was this: Brandon and Nick. B means Brandon is my homeboy. Nick is
Hmm.
me. All right. Brandon and
Hmm.
Nick boxing news. We used to go out there, do the whole media thing, go out there, meet these fighters, talk to these fighters. But at the end of the day, when you start actually meeting these fighters and start seeing these egotistical dudes and watch how they treat you
Mm-hmm.
and realize they look at you and treat you like peasants, they kind of push you away from some of these dudes. Bernard Hopkins, Terrence Crawford, uh, Javante Davis, I can name them. I could also name the one that treated you like a person, Errol Spence. That's why I ride and die with him.
Hmm.
I still ride with Devin Haney. He treated me like a person when I met him. Tio treated me like a person when I met him. But a lot of those dudes, and the further up they go and the more money they make, they start just acting, they start switching up a little bit. Sean Porter was a cool dude when I met him. Deontay Wilder was a cool dude when I met him. But Danny Garcia, what up, Danny? Danny, come on. Danny turned
Yeah,
around, walked towards me, man.
yeah. Him and his dad are
David
good guys.
Benavidez. David Benavidez. David Benavidez said, man, hold on 1 second, man. We used the bathroom, wash my hands, come back and holler at you. Came and just kicked it with us. As long as we wanted to kick it with. Dudes like that, bro, I'm going to take my hat off to. I'm going to support them fully. Dudes that I can't even get a conversation with or whatever, man, I can't, I mean, whatever you do, you do. I can't knock people, but I just know me and how I rock. You know, I don't like nobody treat me like no peasant, dog. And for the most part, you know, a lot of these boxers, you can hear when they talk about YouTubers. You know, they say that very condescendingly, like you ain't shit. You know, I'm being honest, you ain't shit. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber, dude, but I have a career. I have a job. I mean, I'm taking care of business. You know, I'm not just a YouTuber. So that kind of stuff, I'll be honest with you, kind of pushed me away from it, you know, to a certain standpoint, but not fully, you know, because I'm still here today. You see it?
Yeah. So speaking of that, I just wondered, man, do you think just in general, maybe I'm thinking this way because it's a predominantly black sport, but I guess I've never seen, where a person who makes their money from the people treat the people so bad. I mean, I really feel like I've actually heard Terrence go out of his way to bash the fans. You think that's like, is that normal or that's just me overreacting to that?
You're not overreacting, bro. I mean, what you're saying is I'm echoing the exact same
Yeah.
sentiments that you're saying, brother.
Hmm.
I've seen it, bro. I've
Yeah.
seen it with my own eyes, man. I've heard
Hmm.
it. Um, and I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to say it like that because I'm not. I never want to be that type of person. But Terrence are more open to Caucasians than he is his own people.
Mm.
I've
Hmm.
seen this.
Hmm.
Have I ever taken a picture with Terrence or this and that? Yeah, Terrence is he's one of those guys, man. But I don't know, bro. But he don't rock with he don't rock with the people that pat his pocket, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know if
Hmm.
he's changed that since I've been rocking with boxing. You know,
Hmm.
going out doing a little media thing. But he's not one, and he'll shit on you in a minute, bro. He'll make you
Right.
feel like you ain't. He'll make you feel like you ain't nothing, dog. And that's
Yeah.
his mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know why he like that, bro. I feel like that he was like that at one point, and that's where his fans jumped like off the bandwagon with Terrence Crawford. He didn't check in the hood like what you brought up, like what Deontay Wilder do with the LDBC. That's me personally, I call that checking in with the hood. Earl Spence does the same thing. We the hood.
Hmm.
YouTube, he come check in with us. You know what I mean? Some them fighters you name, they all come check in, man.
Yeah,
And, and
real
and
talk,
speaking
bro.
of that, I had to get a brother as intelligent as you on here, man. What you think about Devin Haney suing, Ryan Garcia, who's a known racist, man? Hates blacks, hates Muslims. This is what the man said. What do you think about this guy, man? What do you think about Devin Haney getting all this backlash for trying to stand up for himself?
You talk to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no. I'll be honest, man. I don't blame Devin. I mean, the
Hmm.
dude killed his worth, killed
Hmm.
that man's value. Right now, these promoters aren't offering Devin anything,
Hmm.
and the only thing Devin got left is obviously the lawyer out there telling Devin you got a case.
Hmm.
So Devin's going to go out there and see what he can get out of this. If that's his last, if that's his last bout, trying to
Hmm.
see can he win that way with Ryan.
Hmm.
Because Ryan already said we not gonna never see the ring again. We can never gonna fight. So take that
Hmm.
L. So you know what Devin's trying to say. You know what? So you won that way. Let me see can I win this way. And that's the route he's trying to go with Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
Um,
I know my man. I know my man. Free. He got the wrong hat on. He a Browns fan, posing as a Washington fan. But I know you got a couple
What?
of questions for being there. What's going on,
That is
Puerto
weird.
Rican Free? Go ahead.
What's going on, man?
Crazy.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what did you ever had an opportunity to get an interview, but your job or your personal life interfered, you was unable to get that interview with a certain fighter?
yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, because I work a lot, man, and that's another reason why I had to kind of pull back also, man, because these fighters on strict timelines, and you can only get these interviews, and you know, for during their timeline, their particular timeline, and a lot of times our timelines conflict one interview, man, I was supposed to get one time that I missed, and to this day it hurt. Up and coming fighter named Patrick Day. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
And up to this day, man, it kills me, man, because me and him was supposed to link up, chop it up, and due to my situation, I couldn't get that interview, and y'all know the end of that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, I have a busy life, man. But this is what I love. I love boxing, man, and I try to do this as a fun thing. As we all know, I don't make no money from it. So when I go to fights and all this stuff, I use my own money
On
for
yourself. Yep.
everything, hotel, flights,
Mhm.
every damn thing. You know, and at the end of the day, when I go to these boxing matches, I'll be damned if somebody talk down to me. Shit.
Right, right.
I know that's
You
right.
from you from the same era that I'm from. How do you feel about these fighters nowadays?
Hey, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. These fighters nowadays, they don't want to lose that. Rightfully so. I'm starting to believe they don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose that. Oh, rightfully so. Floyd Mayweather has ruined it for everyone because what happens is once you lose that, oh, you're devalued, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see that. You
Yep.
just totally devalued. They don't want to pay you. Nobody, no promoter wants to mess with you. Um, just, I mean, we're watching that. You get dropped from your promotional company. Um, we see that, bro. They really so definitely these guys have to strategically move around and fight certain people, man, and therefore it's keeping them out of the ring because they tried to hold on to that O as long as possible. Because the longer they hold on to that O, the more money they can make. But at the end of the day, they not really fighting. So
It's
that's
brutal.
the problem people are having.
Brutal. It's
Yeah.
absolutely brutal.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Speaking of boxing, we talk a lot about, it's a Puerto Rican out there, Shakur Stevenson, and people give a Puerto Rican a hard time. But let me ask you this: how come a guy who's more accomplished than a Tank always gets pooped on? Why does he always get pooped on?
Man, I like Shakur Stevenson, man.
Mhm.
I mean, you're gonna get pooped on by the Tank fans. Tank fans see it no other way.
Mhm.
Um, and casuals, casuals, all they look at is Tank Kabox. Tank he's gonna hit you with that power shot, knock you out. But they just don't
Mhm.
realize those particular fighters what happens when you can't land that power shot,
Mhm.
or if that guy can absorb that power shot. That's what they have to realize, man.
Mhm.
Um, so a guy like Shakur Stevenson can box his ass off, got hellified defense, and I think he has a very high chance of defeating Tank. Why you think Tank is not running out there trying to get that fight like that? Because the guy was that easy, who wouldn't go get it?
Go
You
get
know
him.
what I'm saying? I would hard but knock you off, and what they don't realize is the longer you wait, the better he's gonna get. The longer
You
you
sound you
wait,
sound like free when you said that.
yeah, the longer you wait, he might run into that damn strength and conditioning coach that might help him get some of that power that he
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
needs. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm being straight up. In order to beat a guy like Tank, you're gonna have to have something to keep him off your ass.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mhm.
you don't have nothing to keep him off you, bro, he gonna maul
Rap.
you.
It's
He
a
gonna
rap.
maul you. I mean, he
Yep.
a bad man, bro. I can't take nothing from him. Like
Right.
I
Right.
said, I'm a supporter of all fighters. I like them all, and I want no one to
Mhm.
take it negative. I just hate when these guys they love a fighter so much that they don't see no wrong.
Mhm.
And that kind of shit bothers me. All fighters got their own. Everybody got their vices, bro. All of us.
Yeah.
But and everybody can be beat.
Mhm.
Everybody out there have somebody that can beat you, bro.
Mhm.
And the guy that can beat Tank is out there. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard
The
to
thing
see him.
is,
It's hard to find him.
I think I've seen him. I think he might be too young though, man. I think Emiliano Vargas might be the one to do it. But I think he might just be too
Come
young.
on now, go back to asking the questions, dog.
No.
Go back to asking the questions.
Oh,
He came out of nowhere with that one.
brother Tommy don't like no tank slander, so ain't no gonna be no tank
Nah,
slander,
that's
brother
not
Tommy.
that right there, man. Come on, man. I could entertain you saying that Shakur could possibly beat him. Hell, I might even
He gonna stop your
entertain
boy
Devin.
Abdullah, man.
But
Just so
but
you
but
know.
but who?
Emiliano's gonna stop Abdullah, bro.
Okay,
I'm
man.
telling you.
What,
He knocking
Abdullah
grown men
Mason?
out now. He knocking grown men out now. I don't know if you seen him being. He knocking grown men out. People wiping kids' mortgages. He
Tank is
knocking
a
them out
different
cold.
Tank is a different beast,
Cold.
though, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, when Tank bite down, bro, he turned into a different monster, bro. When he go into that second gear, he turned into a different monster, and that's why I say you gotta be the type of person that can engage. And when he try to come in like that, you give him some too. You pop his ass right back, and you give him something to keep him off you. That's why, and that was the thing about Floyd. Everybody always said Floyd was a soft hand dude, but Floyd had some power, dog. He gave you something to keep
That's
you
some
off
pop.
him.
He had
He kept
something.
you
You
honest,
thought
dog.
about it. Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
So, and that's the thing about Shakur. Shakur got to give him something to where he be like, shit, I can't come in like that, bro. I got to try to catch him, but I can't come in like that. I can't just come through the front door. If I just come through the front door, shit, it might be my last time coming through like that.
Hey, shout out my man Ben Israel. I didn't say he
Yeah.
didn't have dog. He showed he had dog in that Ryan fight. He kept getting up, bro. I have mad respect for that.
Yeah.
Now everything since that fight, not so much, but definitely in that fight, he showed a lot of heart, bro. I can't take that from
What
Devin.
if it's good for boxing, T? What if he goes out there, win the lawsuit, and then now these fighters are afraid to test positive for any kind of substance because they're afraid to get sued? So
Yeah.
they
Especially
could.
with the
I agree.
lawsuit, with
I
the
agree.
lawsuit.
What'd you say, big? What'd you say, big bro?
I say I agree. I don't think he's
Yeah.
wrong. I'm with him.
I'm
Anything
not.
you did, anything you do to devalue my worth, man, I think it's worth the lawsuit.
Cause
I'm
now
not
they want to give him $1 million now, right? And they trying to make it
$1
like,
million. Come on, bro.
cause you
That's
know
not
how
right,
boxing
bro.
is, like you said, being Floyd kind of threw a monkey wrench in there with the O thing. And now
Mhm.
when you do lose that O, the boxing as a sport puts you way back down there. You might not see a payday or a big fight for a little minute. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't really care to him that he's suing him. It is what it is.
So let me
And speaking of
clarify.
that, let me
I'm not.
let
I'm
me ask
not
this question
talking to.
real quick. Let me ask my bad time. Let me ask this question real quick because I got to get Free in on this. No, Free. Let me ask you this. Now, when you see Devin Haney, former undisputed champion, you know, beat one of the greatest to ever do it, Lomachenko. What do you think is next for Devin Haney? He took a loss to a drug cheat in races. What do you think is next for Devin Haney? Because I haven't heard you speak on Devin. I know Devin's one of your favorites.
The next thing for Devin Haney is to build back up his confidence and his image, because the right now the vast majority of the casuals, they know, they remember Devin Haney getting knocked down multiple times.
Yeah.
They only thing they know is what they saw that night of that fight. They don't know about what's going on behind the scenes because they casuals. They don't follow that. They only follow what they see on live TV the night of the fight. So his next move is to build his image back up and build that confidence back up, because regardless of how we might think about the fight, regardless of what played out in that fight, the one thing that also played a part in that fight is his mental confidence. Because once you get knocked down or you get knocked out, it plays a mental part in your head. So he has to build that back up in order to build himself back up. So he got to take a fight where it's not a bum fight, but it's not a real hard fight neither. Something to build his confidence back up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And being, I ask you this, man. When we talk about boxing, that's one thing. But one thing, I think he fell off.
Yeah, while
So
he talking, let me clear that
go
up
ahead.
too.
My
I
bad. Go
wasn't
ahead.
talking about the suit. I mean, I'm all for making everything like parallel throughout all regions and throughout all sanctioning bodies. I don't think that just because you're over here, you get to use this substance or you can use this amount of a substance. I think they should do away with all that stuff and make sure that everything that they do compete with is on a list that they have sanctioned and approved. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like statements that are being made and things that are coming out and then followed up by the statements he made. So, he's talking about people are saying people out here ducking him right now and he still can't come back and fight until a certain time. So like, we gotta chill on some of the stuff like that. Him as as a promotional company, they got to stall that stuff out too, man. It's all about pushing out the true commentary, pushing out the true statements, and stop putting stuff out there just to get shock value. I mean, that's how they've actually built the career off of shock value. But we understood what we saw in the ring was shock value. So let's do away with the shock value and just go back to the hard work, the grind, and get in there and get productive and get it back like you got it the first time. That's all I was saying.
Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this after Tom. I'm gonna ask you this after I be free. Be free. Let me ask you a serious question. This is no joke. Is Bill Haney Devin's pimp or his manager? Which one do you think he is?
That's crazy.
I wouldn't say he is pimp at all. That he's a father, and the one thing that most fathers do, if not all, most fathers do, especially when they have a child who's very good in a certain sport, they're gonna push that child. They're gonna push him, and that's what Bill Haney do. Not only is he his father, but he's also his manager and the president of his promotional company. So he's going to do what he needs to do to put his son on the forefront because that's his job. And as a father, you want to give your child all of that confidence. You want to show your child that you're behind him 100%. But and he has two jobs that basically backs up each other because he's his father and he's going to push his child, but he's also his manager who's going to put him in the best position to proceed to succeed in this thing we call life. So I'm not looking at him as a pimp at all. I look at him as a father and a manager.
So speaking of that, one thing I gotta ask you, Ben, man, because coming from New Orleans, man, legendary city, Louis Armstrong, I think one of the first American art forms, jazz, came from your city. So speaking of that, man, what was it like growing up in New Orleans, man? Back in the late '80s, man, early '90s. What was that like, man?
Kill to be killed out there, bro. Still like that. It's worse now. I mean, especially youngsters, man. Them youngsters, youngsters ain't got no respect for nobody, boy. Lord. I mean, it's crazy out there, bro. I actually taught school out there too, man.
Oh, you did?
Well, yeah, bro. It's rough, man. I mean,
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play a commercial real quick. I'll be right back.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Take off White Wario! 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 Take off! Take off!
You always play that, man. That's my dog at the horse race, man. Acting a fool, man. But I gotta ask you this too, man. When you talk about be hurt or not. Let me ask you this, man. Do you think when it comes to us as a community, man, that we have a hard time respecting each other?
We do, man. And that's the problem with us, man. It's a rat race, bro. I think that we just, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just jealousy, envy. We always try to be better than the next. Is that crab. We call it the crab in the bucket mentality. I think that a lot of us we grow up like, you know, and it's not good, man. Because instead of being happy for a brother, we're not always happy for a brother, man. I got partners of mine, dudes I thought was my partners, they ain't really my partners. Dudes, and you think dudes be happy for you, man? They don't be happy for you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really be happy for you, bro. Nobody, you know, a lot of times dudes are not really happy for your success. You know.
Yeah, and speaking of that, who motivated you to your success? Was your mother and father? Was it the grandmother? Who inspired you? Because what you doing, man? Being in the medical field like you are, man, it's no easy task, man.
I'll be honest with you, man. I had a mentor, man.
Mm-hmm.
He actually died in 1988, but
Mm-hmm.
I got in trouble in the third grade, and my mentor, Mr. Rodney, you know, I can't talk about this dude, bro. Shit. Uh, shit, I can't talk about this dude. But basically, he was the one, man. He was the one. He basically kind of talked to me and instilled with me and instilled a lot in me, man. Just trying to let me know. A lot of times, man, when we talk to these kids,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta let kids know that they're smart. We gotta talk
Mm-hmm.
to them and say, man, you smart, you smart, you smart. He kind of led me in a direction to let me know that I had a lot of smarts in me and I can achieve when I didn't believe I could achieve. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times he had me trying to prove myself to him. And at the end of the day, you know, you got to understand, my mom and dad, it was 10 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10 kids, 7 boys, 3 girls, only one out of 7 boys, only one boy graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me. I didn't only graduate from high school. I went on to get my degree in biology.
Right.
And then after that, I matriculated and then got a Pharm D in pharmacy. Um, like I said, but that's because of, you know, just having that mentor always believing in me and telling me, man, you could do it, man. You smart, man. You smart. You can do it, man. If you do this, man, you get good grades, man. I'm gonna buy you a gift. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and that kind of stuff, man. I mean, it helped a lot, and that's why
Yeah.
kids today always speak positive, no negatives. You have to believe in them. If you tell a dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you tell a little dude, man, you a killer, man. You a killer, man. You're a bad dude. He gonna be a killer. He gonna be a bad dude. I'm telling you that. They're gonna live to prove to you what you're saying is real. We got to instill the opposite in these kids. Every time you see the kid, hey man, what you want to be? Guy say, hey, I want to be whatever. You every time you see him, man, you're gonna be a great firefighter. You're gonna be a great mechanic. You're gonna be a great doctor, lawyer, whatever you say you're gonna be. You're gonna be a great just whatever, computer guy, whatever. But we gotta instill that in them, bro.
We got to do it early too,
And,
especially with me
speaking
because
of that, I mean, the reason I said
expensive.
that it's good to talk about that because, you know, when you see VVO, that's representing, you know, my uncle. I had him for a short time, my uncle Brett Wade. And I remember, you know, growing up in the, you know how it is. I don't know if people know how it is to grow up in the projects, man. But everybody on them because you're the poorest of the poor. Like, yeah, you live in the hood, but you live in the house. That's different. But when you in the projects, and I just always remember little stuff he taught me, and it's just so pivotal, man, to see that first vision of what you can be. And one thing I'll say is this: I ask you this: how did you get past some of your worst days, man, coming up? Because school can be very difficult. I think my man fell off.
He dropped off for a second.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. You know what I mean? You grow up in the projects, man. It's rough, man. It's rough, man. And I always think about them times, like when I was coming up, man, thinking like just the impossibility of not coming out that neighborhood. Let me ask you this, Tommy, while I got you up here, man. Now you a calm, cool dude. Can you explain something I never understood? When they talk about like gangs in LA, is that just like a way of life at this point? We talking about 50 years now.
Yeah, it's more like a culture. You know what I'm saying? We often associate or gravitate to things that we either find love in, feel like we have an identity with, or we have a connection with. And a lot of times when you're involved with gang life often supplants, the quality of time that you usually have reserved for your family, and they become like something that's bigger to you than your family. And then it's always driven by the need, like you said, what people speak into you, and to like be motivated to please someone. So now the someone deviates from your family, like your parents, your mom and your dad, and it turns to your big homies in there. So then it becomes like your big homies become more important to you than your family member. And then you might see things that, your parents dang sure wouldn't get you because it's not good for you to have, but makes you feel like you special amongst them. And then it takes on a whole nother life.
Yeah.
Then like, go ahead.
I just want to ask you this though. Like when you hear, we all know the names, Raymond Washington, Tucky Williams, man. We heard about all the names on the other side. But when you came, you're part of the other, the other side of the other side. How was that, man? Because when you leave Compton, man, you surrounded. How did you even navigate that? Going to school, living your normal life, because that had to be very difficult. Because when you leave Compton, I mean, it's it's a whole other side to it. How was you able to navigate that?
Man, truthfully, it's about staying active. Like you got to stay active in something, because if you don't, then you find activity elsewhere. And like when you walk the street, like for us, we had to walk home. Now I lived in I grew up in the west side of Compton, but I had moved with my mom, and me and my brother, we moved to east side of Compton. So we would often take the bus or have to walk home. Now that walk, like you said, our walk would navigate through mostly Crip hoods. We being blood. So what we would do was while we were going to school or doing anything like that, if we had to walk home or had to go around our neighborhood, we would make sure that we wore neutral colors so that it wouldn't bring attention to us. But even still, just being young and being approached, they're gonna approach you and ask you like, where you from? It's how you respond in that moment, because you respond like you don't belong, well, they're gonna press you. If you respond like you are out, they're gonna press you. But now if you say it in a tone, they're respected. So you just gotta develop, it's like decorum in the hood. It's terrible because no kid should have to deal with it. But it's something that you grow up with, and you have to find your way around. That being the case, what I did learn as I grew older is that when things got toughest on me, only certain one of your homies gonna ever truly be there for you, and it's gonna be a select few, but your family always gonna be there for you. And like that's the thing that help push people through when they got to make that transition from gang life to like leaving the gang life. And it's always hard because depending on where you're affiliated, the parameters of leaving it is so much more stern, strict. But it's difficult when you gotta move around and you're surrounded by people who, because of a color or because of a neighborhood, don't particularly care for you or value you. Because like, it used to be we fought, and then it wasn't. And that's when it got really bad, when it was no longer we fighting. Because you fight, you can get stomped out. Hey, you still can come back and you be there. But then when it started playing with triggers, it was a whole different thing. So like
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I got to do a quick roll call. Shout out to my man, GP God's Property, aka Mr. Westside Dunbar's in the house tonight, man. We got West Baltimore in the house. We got my man Gregory Pratt, and we got my man Ben Israel. We got the Queen as well, always moderating, the hardest working woman in YouTube. We got my man Piro, man, always rocking with the Asiatic black man. But I want to get back to this with you on being in, because one thing about you, and I'll say, talking to you is funny. It's almost like talking to Free, man. Free's a Puerto Rican, but I swear, most of the stuff you say, I would have thought I was talking to Free.
What you talk about, man?
Hey, because Free, man, I'll tell you, when it comes to how you talk about boxing, man, I swear, man, you talking about my man Free up there. But let me ask you this, man. Just to go back to it, what would you say to a young man or a young woman? You know, because I'll be honest, I looked at my audience. My audience mostly young men. What would you say to a young man who wants to change his life, but is not equipped with the tools to do so? What would you say?
Not equipped with the tools. You gotta find a big brother, man. You gotta find a mentor. You gotta find. It's all about who you associate yourself with. That's at the end of the day, man. All about who you associate yourself with. If you associate yourself with negative people, you're gonna go down the wrong path. If you associate yourself, like me personally, I only deal with people that's in a certain realm of life. Someone positive people. All that negative shit, all that like people who deal drugs, do negative crimes, all that. I don't associate myself with that because what happens is, bro, that's how you get yourself caught up. So something like that, I would tell a young brother, if you don't want to get yourself caught up in any type of BS, you want to associate yourself with people who's only doing positive things. Somebody that could put something in you. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Meaning some.
That was great.
Man, he a grown man, dog. He ain't thinking like that, bro. Go
BVO
on
ain't
and
gonna let you live with that pause. He's not gonna let you live. So
Because I see how you.
That was crazy.
I mean, dog, come on, bro.
No pause or nothing. Indeed.
he
You
said
like John
pause, didn't
Cena.
he?
I said
He
pause.
He
did say
said
Yeah, say
pause.
pause. He
pause.
did
Yeah, he
say
did. Yes, he
pause.
Yeah, I
did.
did.
I bet you
Yeah, he
$20 he
did.
said
He
pause. Cause I was
said
shocked that he
I
pause.
said
said it.
pause, bro.
You looked at him all
See,
crazy. I was shocked that brother being said it.
see, that's
My
why that
bad.
let you know what you thinking, bro. But go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah,
The
Go
I
on and
only
mean,
finish,
one
I
bro.
thinking
mean,
like
You
yeah,
that.
trying to
pause,
turn that
bro.
around, Tom. I like how you trying to turn it around, man.
He
But
tried to
my
get me,
bad.
bro.
My man
I-
said pause, even though he shouldn't have to. He's speaking facts right now.
Yeah,
but
man.
let me say this, man, because Tommy don't like to have no fun. Man. You gotta forget, brother Tom.
Have fun, bro.
He want to be in his books. But let me ask you this, man. When you talk about boxing, is one thing, but I'm gonna ask you this: when you see our kids in the inner city, man, failing at such a high rate, there's so many kids out here now. I think I was reading this stat in the Wall Street Journal. We got third graders reading at a first and kindergarten level in the black community. I'm just wondering to myself, are we getting worse as a people, or are the parents getting worse? What's going on? Because
I can
I'm
see
seeing some of the worst young human beings I've ever seen in my life. I'm being totally
Man,
honest, man.
that's crazy.
Horrible kids.
in 2001, man, 20 years ago, man, I actually taught the seventh grade, man.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when I was teaching the seventh grade, I had to teach them basic fundamentals. I couldn't even teach them seventh grade stuff. So it's all about so yes, what you're talking about, I had to actually live it as a school teacher, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's all about, like I said, I had to teach them basic fundamentals. I had to go all the way back to elementary and teach them just the basics, man. So that meant that by the time they got to the eighth grade, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
remember, we can't hold them back. If you hold them back, you're not doing your job as a school teacher. So because you have to
Mm,
just pass them.
mm,
Yeah, the system is rigged, dude. The system is rigged. That's why they have people that are valedictorians that can't pass the ACT or the exit exams.
mm.
I don't know if you ever heard of that before. It
Yeah,
happens in
I've
New
heard of
Orleans
it.
all the time. So situations like that, man. I mean, we as a community, and that's why it's the beautiful thing about like I said, the organization I'm in, Omega Psi Phi. What we do is we nurture them, man, and we go to these schools and we pretty much, like I said, we have a lot of programs where we'll capture a certain percentage of students, man, and
Mm-hmm.
we try to help them, after school, whatever. We help try to get them back where they're supposed to be, man. And we just need more brothers to volunteer their time. You don't have to actually be in an organization to volunteer your time to help out the community, man. Because let me tell you something, a lot of these little brothers and sisters, they need you. They
Mm-hmm.
need you, bro, because it's pitiful. It's horrible. I don't know so much about here in Dallas, but I know in New Orleans, man, it's bad, bro. It's,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Let me ask you this, Freak. Coming up in DC, man. You talking about one thing I know about DC dudes, man, and I always pick with hardcore. B3, my man D for the win is that these dudes from DC be the most overly intelligent niggas for no reason I've ever met in my life. So let me ask you this. So for you to be a young man growing up, probably, like you said, raised black but Puerto Rican, living in DC, what was it like when you said you wanted to be in law enforcement, man? We got out the army and said you wanted to be in law enforcement. How was that taken by your peers and people you knew growing up? Because you knew you were gonna be locking brothers up at times or putting people that you knew away. What was that like?
This boy got a very way of framing questions, dog. I tell you that.
You on mute, brother Free.
Can hear you.
Oh, he froze. I think Free got that team over or something.
That
next
roll
was
runner.
not
We
working.
got that roll runner.
Yeah. I didn't know he's still Free still a police.
Yeah, he in law enforcement for sure. But hey, we got my guy here, man. We don't really see him no more. He don't come hang out with the brothers, man. We got Grandpa in the house. What's going on, Sheldon? How you feeling, Grandpa? Oh, he muted too. We see you laid back with a stogie, man. What's going on, man? You hear us? I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, being everybody ain't pay their bill this week.
That's crazy.
That Boost Mobile.
But yeah, they're gonna have to log out and log back in. That's all I do.
Yeah. But back to what you were saying, man. When you came to Dallas and coming to Dallas as a grown man, I'm gonna ask you this, man. Did you realize Dallas would be so much fun when you successful and got money in your pocket?
Yeah, Dallas got a lot to offer, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different parts of Dallas that I still hadn't seen yet. And Dallas is a beautiful place for like date nights.
Right.
You got a wife or a girlfriend, man. Dallas is beautiful for that.
Downtown Dallas is beautiful.
Yeah, Dallas is beautiful for date nights and shit like that, man. That's beautiful, bro. New Orleans, man, you really can't go nowhere on date nights. You might get fucking ran over or robbed or something. You might be trying to go back to your car. Somebody, look, my homeboy tried to go back to his car after a parade, man. Little dude's in his car and he starts shooting at him. Bro, you in my car. How you shooting at me?
That's nasty work.
Yeah, man, it's bad, bro. So it's bro. It's like I say, for us raising a family, man. Raise a family here in Dallas, man. That'd be an awesome thing to do. You want to go, let your hair down and wild out, do some wild stuff, man. Get drunk, piss in the middle of the street, go to New Orleans for the weekend, Sometime when I'm mad at the world, bro, I buy me a Southwest flight and go to New Orleans and wild out.
I'm one being too real for TV, man. I like this guy. But let me actually get back to what I was saying, my man, brother Free. Hey, can you hear us, Free?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So like I was saying, getting out the army, man, and you're from DC, bro. Ain't no nice parts of DC, especially when you was growing up there. Ain't really many nice parts. So when you came home and said, hey, you know what? First of all, going to the army, but what made you have enough courage to say, I'm gonna get into law enforcement?
Well, actually, my brother came to me with the idea because he was like, you one of the few dudes out here in the streets that doesn't have a criminal record. He was like, why don't you just be law enforcement? And for a long time, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I know too many people that's out in the streets. And then once I had my kids, I was like, you know what? I'm a grown man now. I gotta raise my family. I gotta do what's best for me. If my peers and my friends want to continue staying out in the streets, that's on them. They got to live their own life. So I did it. A lot of my friends actually didn't hate me for it. A lot of them thought that I was going to do it earlier than I did. They thought I was going to go straight from high school because I was always into sports and into school. I hung out on the streets or whatever just because my friends was out in the streets, but I was never really one of those guys that you call an actual street dude. I did my little dirt or whatever, but I wasn't one of those guys you call a street dude. I was more so an athlete. So they thought I was going to do it sooner than when I did it. So when I actually did it and they realized that I did it, they were like, oh, okay, that's what's up. He was like, man, just let us know before you coming around, man. So we ain't trying to have you locked us up. But nah, I mean, none of my friends ever hated me behind it. I mean, I still a lot of them I talk to today. I don't hang out with them, but I still talk to them or whatever. But none of them hate me behind it.
Hey, you know what? Before I ask this next question, I want to send a shout out to my man, Boxing Scholar. Just made bail off that Diddy freak off stuff. Glad you home. Salute to my man, Boxing Scholar. I thought they had you, man. I see him and Stevie J carrying out cases of baby oil, so I'm just glad to see he's out. But let me ask you this, man. This is a side that people don't really do. Being, you know, when you're young and successful, have you ever noticed that it seems like the older blacks treat you really bad? Or is that just my experience? It seems like they almost look down on you because you're young and in the same space as them. Have you ever had that from other successful black people that may be older than you?
Talk to me?
Yeah.
Not really, man. Not really. I mean, a lot of people around me where I'm at anyway. I mean, they embrace it. They embrace it, to be honest with you, man. I just don't think that they utilize the knowledge and like, for instance, I'll be honest with you. Let's say, for instance, I'm a pharmacist, right?
Right.
If you're sick, something's wrong with you, you get new medications, anything like that. If you got a friend that's a pharmacist, you holler at that friend, make sure everything is right. You utilize that resource. I don't think that we utilize our resources like the other races do. We don't utilize our resources until it's too late. I mean, don't come to me after you damn near dead. You know, it's too late now. There's nothing I can do to save you.
What are you Negroes cooking on, man? What are you Negroes cooking on today?
He's like talking to his being, he calls Negroes. When you see that?
Yeah, what's going on with it, man?
I'm gonna show Jesse Jackson. You said that.
Y'all Negroes, man. Y'all Negroes. I don't care what the PC community says you guys are. What the white folks look at you as is Negroes. So what are you Negroes cooking on?
We just chilling, man. Having a great conversation, my brother. That's all.
But you know, let me ask you this though, because you know, Grandpa's show, man. You know, he can say whatever he wants, so we let him say whatever. We even let him cuss on here. We won't let nobody else cuss, but we let Uncle Show come in here.
Cut it out, bro. Ask me the question. Cut it out, bro. Ask me the question.
So speaking of that, man, what was it like for you, man, being in California, man? Because that's not easy to do, man. How did you make it in California like you did, man? We see you all the time blowing stogies, standing on the terrace, man. How did you get there, man?
Let me tell you what happened, bro. I was a kid growing up in LA, South Central Los Angeles. I got into the gangbanging culture, you know, because it was prevalent, it was all around me. My grandmother, when I graduated high school, I was 17 years old. My grandmother took me to the Sizzler to have dinner and have a talk. So we talking, we eating, everything's great. I think I'm finna get the congratulations speech and you did it and all this old good shit. She said that, but at the end of that sentence, she said, nigga, you got 90 days to figure out what you're gonna do. My job is done. I got you through high school. I don't know how to teach you how to be a man. I'm a woman. I don't know how to teach you that. But you can either go to college, get a job, or go into service. You're going to do one. But whatever you choose, you're going to do it in 90 days because you're getting the fuck out my house. And I say to this day, I'm 58 years old. That's the best thing that old woman ever done for me. Because she made me choose. Now, I didn't have the grades to go to college. I didn't want to flip burgers at McDonald's. So I went to the military. And that's the best thing I ever done for myself. Because as we speak right now, I'm receiving $3,900 a month from the military. I get $2,700 a month from the union. I retired as a carpenter after 27 years. All I got to do is wait on the mailman. So now, what I want to say is this. For young people out there, anybody that's listening, you got to find something in this world that you want to do that's going to give you some kind of retirement. Because it's going to come a day where you're too old to work and you're too old to make some money for yourself. You're going to have to find something that's going to pour into the system. So when you get out of the system will pour back into you. That's what you got to look for. Because, I climbed up and down on them buildings for 27 years. I can't climb up and down no more. I can't do it physically. Can't do it. Mentally, I still can do the work. I got all the skills that we need, but physically, I can't do it. It's gonna come a time for every man that you just can't do it no more. So you need to focus on something that's gonna pay you when you get older.
Yeah. So
shout out to the Carpenters Union.
And I'll ask you this, man. We always make
Yes,
fun
sir.
of Prize. Prize grew up, pretty rich as a kid. But let me ask you this, man. When you was growing up,
Prize, you got the silver spoon, Prize?
No, it was a golden spoon. But let me ask Prize this, man. When you had a grandpa like you had, man, was it really hard kind of walking behind them shoes? Because I know, like, when you got a legend, ahead of you, man, what was that like coming behind a legend, man?
Brutal. Like, as soon as they find out who I am, because like I'm a union operating engineer, so trying to fill that void it was crazy going through my apprenticeship. That was tough. But once I got the groove of everything, people didn't know who I was, and I kind of made a name for myself on it. So, but growing up with him was a blessing. I was born into this, so I'm happy my kids enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And I did stuff though, because the people like me, when I was younger, I was attracted to the hood because it had all the girls, it had all the drinks, the weed, it had everything that you needed. And the stuff that I was into, the stuff that I
Yes,
was
sir.
into, my mother would,
All the
soon as she found
cocaine,
out,
all the hoes, yes, sir.
bro,
All the cocaine, all the hoes, yes, sir.
soon as my mother found out what I was into, but had them feds coming, she sent me up here to Jersey, to South Jersey to work, and I pretty much built everything in Philadelphia for the last 22 years. I'm been in the union 22 years, so growing up was
So let me
cool
ask
for
you this,
me.
Prize. Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
When you was apprentice, when you was the first period apprentice, when you was apprentice, how many niggas did you can call a job site?
Shit, they knew not to ever say that to me because of who I was. You call me that word, you're gonna have a big black nigga on your heels. I promise you that. And he gonna come with them Italian boys, and they ain't gonna want to do no talking. Them Italian boys, I got a lot of Italian boys that I'm cool with, and if I ain't never heard them boys, I was hoping one of them was gonna call me that so I can get busy on one of them. Secondly, so my partner come down there with them Italian boy, they gonna come down there and they ain't gonna want to talk. So I
But see,
experienced. I
it's a
heard
little different
racism
for me,
though.
right?
Them farm
It's a
boys is
little different
racist
for me,
though.
right? Because I lost many a job because a foreman called me a nigga and I busted him in his mouth.
And it's people like
But see, the
you
good
that
thing
make the
was back
building
in the
trades are what they are today. People like you went through that, and
yes,
y'all
sir,
went through
yes,
that,
sir.
and I always appreciate. I'm one of the brothers that come to the job with some donuts for everybody. I'm one of them dudes. I get everything on the job because I do my job
Yes,
very
sir,
well.
yes,
But
sir.
it's like people like you that
See, but
made it
it was a
comfortable
good
for me.
thing. It was a good
Yeah,
yes, sir. Because it was
yeah.
a good thing because back then the jobs was plentiful. So I could bust you in your motherfucking mouth
And what nobody going
today
nowhere.
and go across the street and get a job by 2:00. Go
Mm-hmm.
across the street and get a job by 2:00. There's jobs everywhere. So,
You go
but I made
upside
it
their
through.
head now,
I
you're gonna
became
get two
foreman. I
checks.
became general foreman. Oh no, you go upside their head now. You going to jail because they got all
You
your
getting two,
information.
and
You
you
going
getting
to
your two
jail.
checks. I know two checks sound good, but if you in the union, you know two checks ain't
Yeah,
good.
you go get the 2 checks. You gonna
Go
get
get
them
them
two.
checks.
Your wife go. Hey, look, prize. Your wife go get them 2 checks because you gonna be in the county jail. You gonna be in
Yeah.
the county jail. You ain't gonna see them checks.
Boxing
But
scholar, you wild.
the thing is, that was my thing because I jumped in the trade, and at first, my first 3-4 years, I was working for the check because the check was lovely, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got past that, I was working because I actually loved what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last 10, 15 years in trade, I was working because I wanted to make the trade better for people who look like me coming in than it was when I came in. And that was
Exactly.
my goal. And we kind of accomplished that.
Yeah,
And we
we
kind of
did.
accomplished that.
Got
But the
somewhere.
problem with the problem with today's youth is our people, and I hate to say this, y'all, but our people don't want to do this type of work. They don't want to do that.
Nope. It ain't
The
for everybody.
generation of our people right now
They wouldn't make it in the
don't
trades.
want to do anything. Exactly. They don't want to do anything, bro, that requires effort.
Yeah.
They want things handed to them. And that's the problem that we have with our community.
I'm still in the union for
We
my
got to get
annuity
them
and
out of that
pension.
because,
My
yeah,
benefits. That's all I
because
care. The check
people
is
don't
easy.
know.
Check is easy work.
A lot of people in the hood, and a lot of people in the hood just don't know. Because you know, Prize, and I know, you can make $150,000 to $200,000 a year in these trades
I've been
if you
doing that
put
for
in the work to
20,
get to the
15
position.
years. I've been making 6 figures for 15
Exactly.
years. I don't know what it's like not to make 6 figures. I don't even want to know what that's like. Me personally.
I'll say this, and this is, shout out to the mighty JBT network, man. We got my
Yeah.
man, BVO, aka Crush, the legend in the morning. Then we start with my man Jay Hardcore, and then we go every Wednesday. We go with my man Richie Threads, with Let's Talk Fashion, and plus, at 1:00 on Wednesdays we got the Banky and Jay show. Everybody see Banky Pound making prison pizzas, prison burritos. We see them all over the internet. But we got that. We got my man Cash Sports, the Boxtorian. We got my brother, man, my mentor, Just Do Boxing. People don't know this. I always give him credit for this. There would be no BBO boxing without my guy, Just Do. And shout out to another kid. I always gotta say his name. My man, Skinny Hardaway, man. I don't know if y'all know who Skinny Hardaway is, man, but I'm telling you, man, my man T is one of the most giving people I've ever met on YouTube. Salute to T, man, letting me up on his panel early in the game when nobody knew who I was. My man Skinny Hardaway. I know Free knows my man Skinny Hardaway, one of the nicest guys out there. But then we got, the Rise podcast, which is coming up after us. But the main thing I gotta say is this whole conversation is important because we all from different walks of life. We look at my man He's in the medical field. We got D Free in the law enforcement. Prize and Grandpa Sheldon have both been in the trades. Me, I've been in the car business. Now, I'm in the business. I'm in the estimating business. So I'll tell you this, man.
Nice. That's
You
what's up,
can
BBL.
do whatever you want, because one thing I will tell you is, like, I've been an estimator for the last almost getting ready to be a decade. And I'll tell you this, I don't see any blacks ever writing estimates. I might see a black dude washing a car. maybe a tech. And even and these techs make $100,000.
And you know why? You know why, BVO? And you know why, BVO? Because they don't know. And it's your job. It's your job as an estimator to let these young brothers know that they can make $150,000, $200,000 a year without going to college. It's your job to let them know that and put that out there.
You can go anywhere and work, dog. You got to check in some of these big cities, dog. Them estimators make a lot of money up here where I live at, bro. A lot of money.
And I'll tell you this, man. The cool thing was this. It all started. And you know what? I always give, me, I pick with D Free a lot. But I always gotta say that. I gotta say this about Free and definitely Prize as well. These two brothers, man, have always been two of the nicest guys I met on YouTube. Yeah, Free come off rough and tough, but the Puerto Rican's a teddy bear with a beard. So that is what it is. Anything you need, the Puerto Rican there, he always.
But see, the thing with Free is, Free is in a great position because we need brothers like Free being police officers.
For sure.
Because they can mitigate the bullshit that happens between the ethnic community and the police. Because Free understands both sides of the coin. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point,
And
bro.
one of my favorites is that, and Free won't never tell the story no more. But when that dude had that shopping cart, I let Free tell that story one day if he stopped being coy. Tell that story, Free, man, about that shopping cart, man. You should have heard how people talking to this brother.
What I will tell you, I'm not going to tell that story, not right now, because it's too long. I got to go into detail. But what I will tell you is, I tell you about my wife. My wife is also in law enforcement, and I had went up to her job to give her lunch, and I was talking to her on FaceTime as I was leaving, and I seen some dude behind her um, getting smart with one of the people, and so my wife was like, "Hold on, I gotta handle something." So she put the phone down so I could see what's going on. And the dude, my wife is only like 5'3". Dude had to be like 6'2", 6'3". Kind of stocky dude. He probably about 230. And so he jumped in my wife's face. So I'm yelling on the phone, "Hey, you need me to come back? You need me to come back?" And she was like, "Nah, I got it, I got it." So I bucked to you anyway. Me being who I am, I bucked to you anyway. So I put my phone down. I could hear them arguing back and forth, and she's like, "You want to get out now or whatever?" So she's putting the person out of the store. And as I bucked a you, I see my wife body slam this dude. When I say body slam, I mean literally picked him up and body slam. She pulled out her baton, hit him to the kneecap, and it was over. The police got up there and they was cracking jokes the entire time. They was like, "You let this little girl,
That's
this little
crazy.
woman right here, body slam you?" Man, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked because I seen my wife actually before. But when I seen the size of the dude, I was like, "Dang, I didn't know she was going like that."
And
But
yoked
yeah,
him up real quick.
no, but yeah, it gets a little crazy with law enforcement. You have to have a lot of patience because people's going to test you because they wanna put you on the internet doing something out of character. So you have to have a lot of patience and you have to revert back to what you was taught. A lot of people, the reason why we have so many law enforcement doing what they doing that we see on the news and we hear on YouTube or Instagram is because a lot of these guys that get into law enforcement for power. They was either bullied in school or they was just scared. They were just scared individuals. So when they get that badge and they get that gun, they feel like they got a lot of power. A lot of times those shootings is because those law enforcement was literally scared, even though the guy might not have had anything on him or anything. They just automatically in their mind they revert back to when they was getting punked in school or when they was getting bullied in school. So they literally was scared. It's just they wasn't the right people for law enforcement. They got into it because law enforcement, yeah, you go through the little mental stuff and all that. That it's easy to pass if you don't really have anything wrong with you. It's easy to pass that. But if you're not built for this job, if you don't have a strong mentality and you don't have a sense of patience, this job is not for you. This job would definitely pull out the bad side of out of the individual because you're going to get individuals that's going to provoke you, and you have to be patient. You have to be professional because the slightest thing will make you look bad, even though you're not doing nothing bad. It will make you look bad because the first only thing they're going to see is you getting out of character. They're not going to see what led up to that. And the one thing that's taught to every law enforcement, we held at a higher standard than a civilian. So we are looked at as trained individuals to have that patience and have that knowledge of what we can and can't do. And a lot of people fail to revert back to what they was trained on.
So let me ask you this, Free. This is for you. Let me ask you this, Free. This for you. How many times recently, I say the last 5-6 years, that you have been in a situation where you had to make a decision?
I would say that's almost daily, especially out here in the DC area. That's almost daily because with these young individuals now, they doing so much stuff that you don't know who's a threat and who's not a threat. The first thing you get is a phone call that they need our assistance. So we don't know what's going on. They try to get information, but a lot of times we don't get the information of what exactly is going on. We just know it's either a domestic dispute or it's a shooting or it's a robbery. We don't get the full detail of what's going on. We just get the call that we need to be at a certain place because something is going on. And so when we get there, the first thing on our mindset, we trying to figure out what exactly is going on. So when we hear a shooting, the first thing you think of, somebody is armed. So you automatically are on edge of pulling your weapon out because you hear shooting. You already know somebody out there got a gun. We don't know if it's that individual or if the individual already fled the scene. We don't know. So you have to be on point anytime you're on duty. That's the reason why even though it's decriminalized to smoke marijuana, it's never good to smoke marijuana when you're dealing with law enforcement. It's never good to be drinking before you go on duty because you have to have a clean head when you're doing this job. Because when you're doing this job, anything can pop off at any time, and you need to make a sensible judgment instead of just going off a reaction.
Scholar is crazy.
Yes, Scholar's a nut, man.
Scholar is he is
so you know what? D-Free, you gotta give him love, man. He made it home from that Diddy trial. So I gotta give him credit. You got a bail bondsman that's looking for him if you don't have that money. So on that note, I just gotta play this one thing for y'all.
Primo Lopez, the Takeover, 2-time undisputed world champion.
And that's cool. And that's cool, D-Free. And that's information that civilians need to know. Because you're right. When you get a call, you jump in your squad car, you go to the car, you have no idea what you're running into. And people have to understand that police officers, anybody in that type of position, got to make a judgment in 1 to 2 seconds. You got to make a judgment on what you're going to do, how you're going to handle it. Am I right?
Yeah, because the main goal for every officer every single day is to make it back home. That's your main goal, to make it back home. And when you're licensed to carry a weapon and licensed to use that weapon, if you feel your life is threatened, the first thing they're going to do is use it. That's the first thing they're going to do. If they think that you are a threat and you can possibly take their life, they're going to make sure that they dispose that option for you. That's the first thing they're going to do. So that's why I always tell any individual, never give them a reason to pull a weapon. You get pulled over, answer every single question they got. Whether you in the right or the wrong, answer. Because for the you don't know what that officer is going through. He could have just got cursed out by somebody down the street, or got it, his wife could be giving him a lot of problems at home. You don't know what he's going through. So you always got to be on guard because you don't know what the next individual is going through. The same way that the officer always got to be on guard because he don't know what that individual is going through. So I always, like, even though, like, when I was in Philly not too long ago, and I got pulled over, and my man, he was like, dog, why you put it? I was like, hold on, calm down, I got it. And then I went on. The officer was like, man, I apologize, dog. I pulled you over by mistake. I thought you were somebody else. And he went on about his business. But if I would have let my man talk, it could have went a whole different way. Because my man, he pissed because he's kind of tipsy or whatever. We was drinking. He's kind of tipsy. So he already thinking they shouldn't have never pulled us over. We ain't do nothing wrong. But it was a mistake of a vehicle. My vehicle was the same. It would look exactly like the vehicle they were looking for. I had a Charger. They was looking for a Charger. And my Charger was smoke gray with tinted windows. The Charger they were looking for was smoke gray with tinted windows. So it was just a mistake of a vehicle. So they didn't know that I wasn't the car they were looking for. That was the car that they got, and I just happened to be coming around the corner, and they saw me. So you just gotta always keep a calm, sensible head, because it can go left real easy, especially when you're dealing with these cops that's looking for a reason. Some of them are out there looking for a reason, and those are the bad ones. Those are the bad ones that are looking for a reason. They got that badge and that gun so they can do something that they normally wouldn't do if they were just walking around on the street.
That's a fact, what you just were saying, man. And you know the thing that's so crazy about it is these conversations, man, are so important. Man, we talk a little boxing. We all know that Tank can't beat no Teofimo Lopez. We all know that. But it's good for us to get some information on how we can do better and move better in life, man, because I don't know if we can do it. We've been asking for a while, but we want to get Prize's grandfather up here, because I'm telling you,
he ain't gonna come up here.
Those older guys, man, they got some invaluable information, man, and that's why when Sheldon get up here talking, cussing, fussing, I just sit down and listen, because people don't understand, man. You don't get old and dumb. There's no such thing as somebody being old and dumb. I don't care who you are, man. You know something and seen something. Because me at 34, I can say I'm learning something every day. With that being said, it's your boy BBO Boxing, man, Mr. SDA, aka Asiatic Black Man sent by God himself. Salute to my man D Free, the Puerto Rican Prince. We got my man Grandpa Sheldon in here. We got my man Richie Rich, aka man Prize, with the Rolio. And we got my man BNN Boxing here. So, you know, and hopefully BNN to come hang out with the brothers more. I know he's at work, but BNN is one of the funniest dudes I done met, man. So salute to my man BNN. Because him and Free, man, would be just magic on the show, because y'all both crazy.
Yeah, I'll come check y'all out, man.
Appreciate it. We gone. Peace.
Peace.
We really boxing. Who wanted the battles? Let's see. Oh, we boxing, yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know.